Okay, what I plan to do with my 1963 Notchback is to give it the treatment it deserves. It's an all original, from the factory car, everything, rubber, motor, drivetrain, all the interior bits are as it came. The only things that have been buried on this vehicle that I can see is front right fender, front right rim, or maybe it's a front left rim, I can't remember, one of these front rims, and the front or the driver's side door have been changed at one point, suggesting to me that the car was possibly hit in the front right and pushed into something from an accident, and at one point was fixed with damn near exact same paint that I can't tell, long time ago, probably in the 60s. Part of the car, part of the history that's going to remain. I'm not going to change it. What I do want to do is I want to take a lot of the components off, the taillights, bumpers, the rims, maybe the rear pop outs, and totally cut and buff the paint and bring it back to as good a quality a paint job as what's left on it as I can. Totally detail and clean it. I'm going to change the rear gaskets that were supplied by Rob Kingsbury, front and rear trunk gaskets. Tuck little things like, as you can see, little wires hanging down, little stupid stuff. You know, change out some of the rubber that's old and cracked, put some new NOS stuff on it. Maybe go as far as rechroming the bumpers. I do want to add some more accessories to this, just a couple more, and remove things like the mud flaps and put on the front and rear gravel guards. I do have some stone guards for the front headlights, and I do have a full circle horn ring, a real one, and the Bosch Type 3 dual horn setup is for a Type 3 that sets up and under on the front beam. Pretty cool. I don't really see these that often. You see the fanfare ones, the chromey ones that go on the front on the bumper, but these bad boys mount up and underneath like so. I'll supply a scan of that along with this restoration. That's the idea with this car. I want to make it into a trailer queen. It served me very well over the last 8 years. I got it in September 11th, 2001. It came into Port Hueneme and has been a road ravager ever since. But one other thing I want to do too is I am going to put the one correct rim on and go back to the stock two-tone color pattern as seen here on the spare. I'm going to go back to that for a while and take off the trim rings. That's the only reason I have the trim rings on there, is because one of the rims are 64-65 and all four rims are actually painted pearl white, so they had been painted at one time. I'm going to remove stuff like try to buff some of that out, little dings here and there, scratches from the kids and their bikes, just mishandling and mistreatment of the car over the years, because I've used it and not necessarily pampered it. After the restoration, I don't really intend to pamper it, but it's going to be in a better place. It's going to have a nice coat of wax on it. It's going to be driven less. It's going to be more of a showpiece, which it's ended up being over the last 2-3 years anyways, since I haven't driven as much. But I've driven it from here to San Diego to Seattle a couple times and back 3 times to be exact. Used it for a work car for a short period of time, getting me back and forth to work, and it's been a champ. The biggest problem was the clutch slipping, and fixed that with a new transmission gasket, rear seal, main seal gasket on the transmission, a new clutch. Thanks to George for pointing that out. Thanks to Tom Notch for helping me get the new clutch in. Jimmy up in Seattle. Rob Kingsbury for milking me along to the classic one year with it for that same problem. So it's been fun, a lot of history. I just wanted to, like I said, treat it to a nice pampering and just take better care of it so that it lasts another 20 years if I decide to pass it on to another caretaker. So follow along on this thread and we'll see how it goes.